Fall's here, which means big caddis, and big caddis means you need to be throwing big pupa, big soft hackle-y type of cripple-y things, and this is a great pattern I've got for you guys here. This is Simon with Caddis Fly Shop and Oregon Fly Fishing Blog, and October Caddis are the name of the game right now, and this is a really, really fantastic pattern that looks very, very lifelike in the water while maintaining elements of, you know, a traditional wet fly with a deer hair top up here, or elk hair, I should say. And it works really great because this fly can kind of do it all. My favorite way to fish it as of right now is I tag it about 18 inches behind another caddis, like an October Caddis pattern, or maybe like a small number 10 tan caddis, or 12. And what that does is it looks like a trailing emerging insect, or a pupa that like totally missed its rock it was trying to get out of the water and it's kind of blowing around. I like to fish it in shallower water at the heads of pools where fish are holding this time of year. But you also certainly can swing it on a trout spay rod. You can swing it on a single hand rod. You can tag it on with your nymphs and dead drift it, and then you can swing it at the end. So this fly can do a lot of stuff, and I like flies like that. And it just looks really, really good when it's wet. When it gets wet and I look at it, I'm like, nice, it looks just like a little pupa. So it's not too hard to tie. It gets a little crowded at the top, so using a thin thread like this fully mill flat 70 thread that we got, I'm really happy with this stuff as of late. It's a little bit grippier than nano silk, but it's about the same size and allows you to work in a tight space. So I'll give you a closer look at the whole thing and show you how to tie it. It's a relatively easy one, but you got to just kind of make sure you leave enough space to do the stuff for the tip. So looking up close at this guy, you got four materials for the body right here. You got chenille, and then you got a little bit of wire, and then you've got ostrich between both of those, and then you've got this little chenille, this micro chenille that came out last year from Hairline as the bump for the thorax. You can use dubbing, but this really kicks out these fibers, which looks real great. You'd have to load a lot of dubbing on to get the same effect. And then we've got just a little bit of yearling elk hair on the top. And so, like I said earlier, this thing is just a smasher. You can swing it, you can dead drift it behind a dry, you can just tag it as a tag down on your nymphs down low. This thing was just unstoppable for me lately, so happy to share it with you guys, and we will just get to tying it. So we're starting here with fully mill, all flat thread in 70 in black. It has been my new favorite flat thread. There's a lot of good new threads coming out right now. So unfortunately, the old classics, there's nothing wrong with them, but there's been a revival in just working to develop better threads with today's technology. So this new stuff's really great. A lot of the stuff coming out from a lot of these companies is very impressive and is totally changing the game. And we've got a bunch of them in the shop. So this is the fully mill one, but we've also got new thread from Semperfli, which is pretty sweet. But I do like this one right now. This is the newest one that came out. We just got it in the shop. And so we're tying in, I should talk about the hook. This is these are new hooks from Arex that came out last year. This is the LE880, the wet ply hook, in an 8, and it's the perfect size for an October Caddis pupa. They have like a really cool, kind of old school bronze finish. And they have a cool old school bronze finish with a pretty heavy wire and a really nice short shank, so it's just got that really nice profile for a soft hackle hook. And then they do have a classic wet, I think the other one's called, and it has what's called a sneck bend, and it's like a squared off back of the hook. And I will be doing a blue wing eventually once things cool off. We have too many bugs hatching right now for me to do all these patterns all at once. So my thought process is I'll do all the October Caddis and mahogany ones now because we'll have blue wings through the whole winter. So as I was talking there, I tied in about 3 or 4 strands of orange ostrich right here. You can mix it with like a peach colored ostrich, but I think you got some peach here that you don't really need to do that. So what we're going to do is we're taking this micro super suede chenille from Fully Mill, and we're taking wraps, And we don't really want it touching, but we do want it close because we're making a small little slot to run that ostrich into. So just leaving yourself just a little bit of space to work will make your life easier down the road. And so we've got this tied in right here. And you do want to leave some space to work up front because you do have to put a bump of this stuff in, and then a partridge feather, as well as some elk hair. So we are just going to work and wrap this into those slots. And you can, obviously, as you can tell, more ostrich means puffier body, less ostrich means more of that tan colored chenille will kind of peek its head through. And now we're taking this wire up the body and just running it into those same slots. This medium orange soft wire. And so I like to take larger clumps of ostrich in case I clump some of this down, but when this gets wet, it looks really, really cool. It's got like a segmented body because of the wire. It's got a really nice natural underbody that has a nice natural tan color, and then this orange is almost like iridescent. It lays on top of it and really makes it look like a see-through pupa. It's really, really cool. If you go on Oregon Fly Fishing blog, there is a picture of it. There's just a couple of pictures of it wet and it dry. You can see it dry now, but it just looks really, really nice. And so we're taking a bump of this stuff. Don't need a whole lot. This is just to kind of bump things out and aid in our materials flashing out. And every bug needs a little darker colored thorax. It's just something you got to do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a partridge feather on this guy. And don't mind this bag. My cat tore apart the other one and got some of this bird. But what we're going to do is we're going to put on a little feather up here. And this takes a little bit of practice if you have a skin, but you're going to want to pick from higher on the neck where the feathers are smaller. And that will help you get the right size, because if the feathers are too long, it just looks just a little bit funny, and you don't want your fly to look funny. I don't think the trout will care as much, but we're pretty big critics of our own work, and it's going to drive you nuts if it just doesn't look right. So you got to make sure you have the right fibers. You can kind of measure. It's going to be a little bit shorter than what they look like if you hold it up against the body. But what we'll do now is we'll tie this in right here. And again, you want to just leave a little bit of space if you can. If the fibers are kind of going all over the place, don't worry. You can use your thread to kind of clean them up, slash kind of get them all going where you want them to go. And the, what's it called? That elk hair will kind of put it into place. So mainly you want to just make sure that you have some on the bottom down here, because everything else is going to kind of get pushed around. So you can actually pull it to the side and get more of those fibers down where they are going to do a little bit more work for you. And so now what we're going to do, yearling elk finally have almost made it through this little patch here, and we're going to take a bunch and chuck it into a hair stalker. With this particular fly, you can probably make it without throwing it into a hair stacker if you don't have one. I'm not saying don't go buy one if you don't have one, because it's a really useful tool, but I'm more saying if you want to be lazy and you don't want to run it through the hair stacker, it'll still look okay. For sake of doing the right thing, I'm going to even up all these tips of hair for all you guys. So we're going to run it through the stacker here. And the yearling elk's pretty soft, which is, it's really nice when you're working with very little space here. You may find after tying one of these that you need a little bit more space. Everyone's a little bit different with how tight they can work. For example, if you're using a thicker thread, you're going to have trouble here. This fully milled thread excels at working in tight situations like this. And we're going to kind of measure to the length of the body like that. And then we're going to kind of pull, make sure all of our fibers of our partridge are pulled back, and then we're going to splay it up like this. And that's exactly what we want. A really nice pair of scissors is not necessary, but it helps a lot. We're going to trim all those fibers back. If you have any straggler partridge fibers that are going all over the place, you're going to want to take care of those. And now we're going to just build a little thread head right here. So we're just going to make sure that's all pulled back. If you have any partridge fibers that are have gotten pulled where they're not supposed to be, you're just going to want to kind of pull them back. And basically we're going to just build a little thread head and hide any pieces of elk that are peeking out right here, which sometimes takes a little bit of practice, and you got to be precise with the thread. This is where using something like a flat thread kind of helps, because you can really, you know, selectively cover certain areas. Let's see, I think, yeah, I got everything over here. So now we can do our whip finish, and you got a nice little thread head right there. We'll do another whip finish just to be safe. And then this is a fly where you can do a bunch of whip finishes to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere, but you can also do a little dot of UV resin that'll coat it, and then you got like a nice finish on it, and it just looks really good. And we like to tie flies that look good. Let's see. So we're just going to coat our resin on this. It looks good, but it also will never come undone on you, really. Let's see. Here's a little trick. If you got a little bit of resin in the eyelet, you can do that. Make sure you're not getting junk in there as you cure it. But yeah, here's a really, really great pattern for swinging, for dead. I really like it to dead drift behind another fly. Even midday, on especially overcast days, they'll just hammer this thing at the heads of pools. They think it's a October Caddis going rogue that is missed its rock it was trying to crawl out on. So you can get all this stuff and more online at caddisflyshop.com. You're watching on YouTube, so if you click subscribe, we got weekly fly tying videos and all sorts of other stuff. Oregon Fly Fishing blog has tons of articles for you guys to learn stuff on all different topics, and all the links for these products are down below if you're online. You can shop for more online at caddisflyshop.com, and if you're local, we'll see you in the shop. Thanks.